Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everyone to Empower Yourself for Tax Season 2024. My name is Crystalline Shelton, and I will be your facilitator for this presentation. For those of you that don't know me, I am a licensed CPA and a financial coach. So before we actually dive in, just a few housekeeping items here. Every one of you wouldn't mind to stay on mute just so that there's no background noise. And as I mentioned, Brunel is monitoring the chat. So if you've got a question as I go through the presentation, she will definitely let me know. And then, as I mentioned, I've got plenty of time at the end to answer any questions that you have as well. But feel free to definitely engage. Some of you may not know, but I'm doing 2 giveaways that I'm really excited about tonight. The first giveaway is an autographed copy of my latest book, which is Mastering QuickBooks 2023. And then the other giveaway is a 45-minute complimentary consultation with me. So a couple of goodies for you guys taking the time out of your busy schedule. We will definitely do those giveaways at the end of the presentation, just letting a couple more people in. And so thank you so much for joining on that. All right, so let's dive in. I want to talk a little bit about me for those of you that don't know me, and then we'll get started. So I have been an adjunct instructor at UCLA for the last 12 years. I teach bookkeeping and accounting courses for them online. I used to teach in person when I lived in Los Angeles, but I've moved back home to Texas about 4 years now. So I teach online for them. I am a certified advanced QuickBooks Pro advisor. I've got a ton of experience in the accounting field, and I've got more than 15 years of experience working directly with small businesses. I am the author of 4 Amazon best-selling books. I'm really excited and proud of that. My latest book, as I mentioned, is Mastering QuickBooks 2023. And I provide both one-on-one and group coaching to small business owners in the area of finances. So with that said, are you guys ready for a pop quiz? I clicked the button too soon. So I've got a pop quiz for you guys. Please put your response in the chat. Remember, participation gets you in the drawing. So my first question for you guys, if I told you that the only qualification you needed to get a $10,000 grant was to provide me with a year-to-date profit and loss report for your business, how long would it take you to produce this report? A few minutes, a few days, a few weeks? So just put your answer in the chat. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of time, and then we'll go on to the next question. All right. Question number 2. How long would it take you to write down your top 3 to 5 customers who purchase your goods and services, or goods or services? A few minutes, a few days, a few weeks? There's no judgment here, so don't be afraid to respond. I'm not even looking at the chat, Renelle is. All right. Question number 3. How long would it take you to write down the top selling 2 to 3 products or services that you offer? A few minutes, a few days, a few weeks? All right, question number 4. If your bookkeeper called in sick this week, could you perform his or her duties? Yes or no? Be honest. All right, last question. Do you plan to seek government contracts for your business? Yes or no? All right. So, why are many business owners not able to confidently answer these questions? It all boils down to one thing. They are believing a lot of myths. What is a myth? A myth can be defined as a false belief or idea. So I'm going to go through the common myths that many people tell themselves and just clients that I interact with on a regular basis, and just, see if you fit into one of these categories. You don't have to tell us, but just give you food for thought. So the first one, oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me, I'm going to stop my video just for bandwidth, and then I'll come back on for Q&A for sure. All right, cool. So I'm not good with numbers. So I actually used to believe this myth as well. Back in grade school, I hated math. I struggled in every math class that I had: geometry, algebra, pre-calculus, until I took a bookkeeping class in my junior year of high school. That's when I actually realized that I love numbers. The math that you do for bookkeeping and accounting is basic addition and subtraction. It's not the math that you did back in grade school. Nowadays, accounting software like QuickBooks does all of the heavy lifting for you. Myth number 2, I don't have time to do bookkeeping. If you don't have time to do the bookkeeping, you must be able to hire someone who has the expertise required to manage your books. That doesn't mean that you get to bury your head in the sand. As a business owner, it is your business to know what the bookkeeper is doing. Do you know that if you take a hands-off approach to your books, that is opening the door for a bookkeeper to steal from you? If you Google bookkeeper fraud, you will see over 2 million results. There are tons of horror stories out there. And for those of you who don't know, this actually happened to Oprah Winfrey. She had a bookkeeper at the beginning of her career who stole thousands of dollars from her. As a result, she now signs every single check to this day. Myth number 3, I have a bookkeeper, so I don't need to know how to do bookkeeping. Wrong. One of the questions I asked during the pop quiz was, if your bookkeeper quit today, could you pick up the slack until you found a replacement? If you can't invoice customers so you can get paid, and you can't pay your bills so the lights stay on, Houston, we have a problem. About 50% of the clients that I see, they come to me desperate because their bookkeeper quit and they have no idea what they're doing. They cannot do the simplest thing like invoice customers for services or products that they have provided. You never want to be in that situation where you're held hostage by someone, not the bookkeeper, not anybody. Myth number 4, I can't afford a bookkeeper. You can't afford not to hire a bookkeeper. I completely understand that in the beginning, many folks are bootstrapping their businesses. I did the same thing. I had a 9-to-5 and my business was my side hustle. I was using part of my paycheck to pay expenses for my business. I get it. But let's just talk about some of the real statistics here. Success and failure rates for small businesses. The bad news, which many of you have probably heard before. 20% of small businesses fail in the first year. 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. But hold on, we've got some good news. The good news is 89% of small businesses that partner with an accountant or CPA and follow their advice succeed. So it's definitely important for you to make that consideration. So speaking of advice, I'm going to share 7 tips with you to help you get on track and stay on track so that next tax season will be a breeze. Tip number 1, do not commingle business and personal funds. You need to open a separate business checking and savings account. Why is this important? It's important because you need to be able to determine if your business is making money on its own. It's very difficult to do that if you've got all the money in one bank account. So even if you are funding your business with your personal money, that's fine. Have a separate account for your business account, write a check, or do a bank transfer from your personal account to your business account and label that money as owner investment. It's important for you to keep track of the money that you are investing in your business. Hopefully one day the business will be able to pay you back. And if not, what if there's an opportunity for someone to invest in your business? One of the first questions they're going to ask you is, how much have you invested? And if you're not keeping track of it, you won't be able to answer that question. Tip number 2, automate as much as you possibly can using accounting software like QuickBooks. So one of the first things that I will do with a client is connect all of their business, bank, and credit card accounts to QuickBooks. This automation allows for that data to automatically import into the software. So instead of sitting at a computer, being a data entry clerk, by entering all this information, it's automatically in the software, and you're basically reviewing it for accuracy before it gets recorded to your books. Tip number 3, use as little cash as possible to pay for expenses. Why? Because if you use a debit card or a credit card, there's always a record of your purchase. If you're using cash, that means you've got to keep track of that receipt. How many of us are good at keeping track of receipts? I'll admit, I'm not that great at it, but I'm getting better. So what you want to do, which is my next tip, is you want to actually apply for a business credit card or use a personal credit card, but use it strictly for business expenses. By doing that, you will have a record of all of your expenses so that you don't miss out on any tax deductions. So you've got like one place to go to find all of the expenses that you paid for throughout the year. Tip number 5 is get rid of paper receipts and go paperless. This is like my favorite tip. And so what do I mean by that? So a lot of accounting software products allow you to take a picture of a receipt and upload it to the software. QuickBooks does that. So once you upload that image to the software, it's there. You can access it anytime and you can toss that paper. Tip number 6, schedule a monthly meeting to complete bank reconciliations and review key reports, or meet with your bookkeeper if you have one to discuss these things on a monthly basis. I'm personally one of those people where if it's not on my calendar, it won't get done. So the first Saturday of every month, I have 2 hours dedicated to finalizing any bookkeeping tasks such as bank reconciliations, and then reviewing my key reports from the previous month, my profit and loss statement, my accounts receivable aging statement to see what customers have unpaid invoices, my accounts payable aging to see who do I owe money to, what bills are going to be coming due. This is something that if you do it on a monthly basis, you won't be making that mad dash to tax time in January. The final tip here is schedule a tax planning session with a tax professional. So this is something that I actually did for the first time last year, is you want somebody to sit down with you, go over your current financial statements and maybe your prior year tax return, and provide insight on what tax deductions that you could be taking that you're missing out on, and to provide guidance on, depending on your income, do you have your business categorized as the right entity? Are you a sole prop and maybe you should consider being an S corp, right? Or an LLC, that type of conversation. It's important at tax time, you really don't want any surprises. You want to be prepared if you're going to have to pay Uncle Sam, however much money you owe at the end of the year, you want to be prepared for that. So I would say schedule a tax planning session. If you can, do multiple sessions, maybe one at the beginning of the year and then another one, towards the middle of the year so that they can see how you're tracking. That's probably a great idea as well. So I will stop there. Renelle, are there any questions so far?
Yes, ma'am. We have a question from Daniel P.
Okay.
If you are using a credit card, do you still have to keep track of the receipt?
Great question, Daniel. So it's always a good idea to have the documentation, but it's not necessary because there's a record of it on your actual credit card statement. Typically, the receipt will tell you what you purchased. And so if you don't know what you purchased without that receipt, then yes, you should keep the receipt or have a record of what was purchased from that merchant. Great question. Any more questions for now?
Not for now.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I actually have a big reveal, something I'm super proud of that I want to share with you guys. So to help you implement all of these things and to get on the right track with your business finances, I have created my very first online course. It is called QuickBooks Bootcamp Basic Training. I am like doing the happy dance over here, you guys. I have been working super hard on this for the last 6 months. I'm really, really excited. It's a project that I have been asked to do for a long time from my clients. And so I'm just really thrilled. So let me give you a few highlights and then we'll dive into the actual course items that are there. So what does this course provide you? It is a self-paced course designed with you, the small business owner, in mind. So my approach was, this course needs to be for people who don't have an accounting or bookkeeping background and don't know where to start. That was the premise. If you're an on-the-go learner, someone who likes to look at their iPhone or their iPad and learn on the go, you will be able to log into this course whenever you like. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so you can learn on your own time. And this is really for those business owners who don't have time during business hours to meet with me one-on-one or even to attend a course, right? Because you're too busy working in your business. This is a great training tool. Let's say you're not going to do the bookkeeping. Maybe you have a virtual assistant or you've hired someone and they need to learn how to do the bookkeeping properly. This is a great training tool for that person. One of the differentiators of this course over the courses that are on the market is you get access to a private community where you can ask questions. So as you go through the course, if there's a question that you have, you pop over to the community and post your question. Myself or the other QuickBooks experts on my team will respond to that question in 24 hours. So we are here to support you. We don't want you to purchase a course and then say, hey, good luck, let us know how it goes. No, I'm here to support you on your journey. I want you to be successful in your business finances. As I mentioned, no prior accounting or bookkeeping knowledge is required. Anyone will be able to successfully follow this course. One of the other things that I thought was lacking in the courses that are on the market is a lot of courses will show you the clicks, right? They'll show you to click here and click there to do this and to do that. But what they fail to do is teach you or tell you the why behind what you're doing. And I find that with my clients, when I tell them why they're doing what they're doing, and what's happening in QuickBooks behind the scenes when you do this, it really helps for the information to stick. And so that's why I think it's really important to have that. So all of these are included in the course. So let me head over to the course now. So the course is called QuickBooks Bootcamp Basic Training. And so the curriculum is broken down into 4 courses in one. The first course is Setting Up QuickBooks for Your Business. And this course dives into, we start out with what is QuickBooks and how can it help you? Okay, we start at ground zero. I show you how to navigate QuickBooks Online, how to customize it. We dive deep into the chart of accounts and I show you how to use that. And then this particular course ends with how to give your bookkeeper and your tax preparer access to your data. And so by the end of this course, you will be confident that your QuickBooks is set up properly. Once you've got QuickBooks set up properly, next steps is recording your sales, your money coming into your business. That's course number 2. So that will consist of adding your customers, if you are a nonprofit, adding your donors, adding your tenants, if you're a property management business, all of that is covered here. Adding those products, if you sell products, adding services, recording your sales, which there's 3 different ways you can record sales in QuickBooks that we cover. And then I show you how to generate your key sales reports, and I teach you how to read those reports, okay, so that you can understand what the data means. The third course goes into that money going out of your business, right? So those expenses. And so we go through how to set up those vendor suppliers in QuickBooks, how to record your bills and your checks, other expenses. Again, generating the key expense reports that you should be reviewing, and then how to interpret that data. The final course covers how to prepare to file your taxes. So we start out with a checklist of all the tasks that you need to complete in order to file your business tax return or hand it over to your tax preparer, right? How to give your tax preparer access to your QuickBooks data. So no more, having shoe boxes or piles of receipts to hand over. You can simply give your tax preparer access to generate reports. They can generate the reports that they need to prepare your tax return. We talk about adjustments that the tax preparer might require. And then we talk about generating those final reports after you make adjustments, and then setting a closing date to secure that data for the year once you filed your taxes. And so this is an end-to-end course that basically covers everything. One of the things that I do want to point out here is you get lifetime access to the course. You will have access also to me personally. I will be doing monthly webinars just for people who have purchased the course, so just for our community. And within those webinars, we'll cover some advanced topics. So once you're ready, we'll cover some advanced topics, and then you also can ask me anything in those monthly webinars. Everyone who purchases the course will also receive a complimentary copy of my latest book, Mastering QuickBooks 2023. And so what you'll find within the course is each time I teach a concept, I'll refer to the book for the chapter that you can also read if you'd like to get more information. The videos cover everything, but I know some people actually like to read or like to have a reference tool. And so that's why I've included the book, because it's a great reference tool also to refer to. So with that said, a few more perks here. I mentioned the private community. So not only do you have access to me and other QuickBooks experts to ask questions, but you'll also be able to interact with other small business owners who are going through the course as well. And so I think it's just great to build camaraderie and to support each other as you're going through this course. I'm here to support you as well. So with that said, we are offering a special price because this is the launch week. So the regular price for the course is $2,000. We're offering $200 off of that price. It's like $202, so it ends up being $1,798 for all 4 parts. And so you simply just use this code EMPOWER and you put it in this coupon code field to get the discount. Now, this discount is good for 1 week, so the promotion ends next Wednesday, May 17th. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, Crystalline, I just wrote a big check to Uncle Sam. I don't have this much money to lay out, but I need this course. So we also offer a payment plan. So if you scroll down this page, and if Ronell, if you could put this link in the chat for everyone, that'd be great. There's a button that says set up a payment plan. We've got you. So if you click on that, the regular monthly fee is $166.67. That's 12 months. We are also offering the discount to you as well. So the discounted amount would be $149.83 a month. And you just have to enter this code to get that discount. And so again, the promo ends next Wednesday at midnight Central Standard Time. And so with that said, one of the other things I decided to do this like within the last couple of hours is I wanted to give you guys a taste of the course, right? I want you to see what you're getting. What are you getting for your money? And so I would like to just share this quick video from the course so that you get an idea. Welcome to Module 6, Using Bank Deposits to Record Sales. As discussed, the third method you can use to record sales is a bank deposit. The downside to using a bank deposit is that you won't have a detailed record of the type of product or service that was provided. This method should only be used if you only sell one type of service or product, or you have another system that captures these details. So in the previous module, we talked about if you were an e-commerce business and you capture all of your sales in Shopify or eBay or Etsy, that would be fine for your detail of sales, and then you can record a bank deposit in QuickBooks to keep track of your income. To record a deposit in QuickBooks, you want to click the plus new button here. And then right below the other column is bank deposit. From the drop down, the first field is account. So this is the bank account where you will make the deposit. So the automatic default will be your business checking account. If you click the arrow, you can select whatever account you're going to actually make the deposit in. You will notice the current balance of the account that you selected will appear right here. And then in the date field, you should reflect the date that you're going to make the deposit. Down below, if you want to reflect a specific customer that sent this payment in, you are welcome to do so. If not, you can leave that field blank. So you can do the customer there. The account field you must complete, and you want to indicate the type of income that this is. So for our example, we'll just record some consulting income, and we will do this. Let's just say that this is for a group coaching that was done. So multiple people. Payment method is multiple payment methods because there's multiple people. Reference number, if you had a check number, you would indicate it there. And then we'll just put the total amount that we collected for that group coaching session. And then in the memo, we can indicate small business, group coaching. And QuickBooks allows you to also record any cash back that you plan to receive. So again, select the cash back, and you can just select if it's going back to you. You can put it to petty cash. You can put a memo for the cash back and then the amount that you plan to receive. Similar to sales receipts and invoices, you can also attach any documents that pertain to this particular transaction. And if not, then you can simply save and close the transaction. So when you record a deposit in QuickBooks, you will not be able to see it in the customer center, especially if you did not indicate a customer's name. Even if you did, because it is a banking transaction, it will not appear in the customer center, right, which is here. So normally you could go to a customer and you would go to their transaction list and you could see their transactions. Let's see if I can pick another one. So you'd see like all the invoices and the payments. Deposits will not show up here, okay? Instead, you will have to look at a deposit detail report or an income by client report to see those details. And in the next module, Key Sales and Customer Reports, we will cover these two reports and some additional reports that you should be reviewing on a regular basis. To recap, step by step, how to complete a bank deposit in QuickBooks, go ahead and review Chapter 5 in my book, Mastering QuickBooks 2023. Up next is Module 7. Awesome. All right, so now what questions do you guys have for me? Renelle, do we have any questions in the chat, or you guys feel free to unmute if you've got a question? I know you guys have some questions.
I have a couple of questions, Crystalline. First of all, great job.
Thanks,
When
Cynthia.
you are a startup just getting started and it's a new business venture, does QuickBooks provide a template, or does it provide you a foundation of the types of expenses that you would potentially have just as a starting point to help you kind of get organized, especially if you're a startup?
Yes, great question. So one of the things that you'll find as you go through and set up your QuickBooks file is it'll ask you what industry are you in? And then based on the industry that you select, QuickBooks will create what's called a chart of accounts list for you. So it'll have the recommended income accounts and expense accounts for that particular industry. However, you will always probably have to customize it further to match your business. But yes, you do have a starting point or a template, if you will, when it comes to those income and expense accounts for your business. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're
We have a
welcome.
question from McKaylee. If I
Okay.
have already paid for the 3-hour session, would I need QuickBooks Bootcamp for more knowledge?
I'm sorry, one more time, Manel?
If I have already paid for the 3-hour session, would I need QuickBooks Bootcamp for more knowledge?
Great question, McKaylee. So McKaylee has an appointment with me on Friday. So she's asking about whether or not she'll learn more. So basically, absolutely, you're going to learn a lot more with the course because it covers a lot more than you and I could possibly cover in 3 hours. But that's a great point because McKaylee, I know with your situation, you're actually starting by setting up your QuickBooks file. So it is definitely a probably more cost-effective option for you just because you have lifetime access to the course. So you can watch those videos as many times as you need to. And it covers the gamut from setting up QuickBooks to showing you how to record your income to recording your expenses. So I would absolutely be, happy to, we can talk offline about applying what you've already paid and having you get the course if you choose to do that. Absolutely. Great question. Any other questions for now?
Daniel P says, do you ever say bad question?
No. Okay, I'm a teacher. There are never any, they say there's never any dumb questions. There are never any bad questions, Daniel. Never. Good question, by the way. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I have another functional question. So when you're working in QuickBooks Business, I'm assuming it links to your accounts, or how does it communicate, or does it communicate with your bank accounts?
Yes, great question. So Daniel's making me laugh. Yes, it does. So basically what you do, Cynthia, is you go into an area of QuickBooks where it allows you to select the bank. And so QuickBooks has a relationship with, oh my goodness, all the big banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and even a lot of small banks. So you would go in, enter your bank name or select the icon for your bank. And you basically walk through the steps as if you were logging into your bank account online. So you use that user ID and password. And then you have to give approval for QuickBooks to, or for your bank to share the data with QuickBooks. Once you select that you approve it, then you actually select the accounts that you want to connect to QuickBooks. So let's say if you've got your business and your personal accounts with that financial institution, then you would only want to connect your business accounts to QuickBooks. But yes, great question. Easy step-by-step process to get your accounts connected.
We have another question from Daniel. Do you
Okay.
recommend not to connect your QuickBooks to your CRM?
I think it depends, Daniel. So there are quite a few apps, CRM apps, inventory apps that will automatically connect. The key is to do some research to find out what the reviews are on the connection, right? So there is an apps menu in QuickBooks that you can click on, and then you can search for your CRM. What's great about that is it will give you the reviews for that app, and the reviews are done by people like me who deal with clients who use those apps. So they're pretty reliable. That's kind of the first step I take. And then if the reviews are good, then I'll reach out to the company and ask to schedule a demo. And I ask them to walk me through, how does this app communicate with QuickBooks? And those people are happy to set up a demo. It's free because they want you to use the app, right? Which is not free usually. So yeah, so definitely it just really depends on how well it works with QuickBooks. Yep. Yep, great question. Renelle, any other questions?
No more questions for now.
Okay.
Oh, no, we have one from
So,
Deborah.
okay. Hi, Miss
As a
Deborah.
As a person Crystalline had to help correct mistakes, I want to share, I wish I had had the guidance to have prevented these mistakes. Life was very stressful until I had help fixing preventable errors. This is a comment.
Oh, thank you, Miss Deborah.
Oh,
So sweet. She's a client of mine as well, and I was happy to help you, Miss Deborah. So glad. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, it's giveaway time.
woohoo.
Let me actually stop the recording.